Okay. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all well. I'm just trying to make this go live for us. So if you can just hang on one seckie. Okay, Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is well this morning. This is, well, if you must excuse any blunders or errors or stumping over our words. This is the first webinar that we're going to be doing as the SA Chefs Women in Culinary Committee. I would like to take a moment just to introduce us to you before we get into what the content of the webinar is about. So my name is Sarah Gray. I'm the chair lady for Women in Culinary. Good morning, everybody. And I am also the director and owner of a company called The Chef. And yeah, what brings me here is I have a huge passion for the industry as well as women in the industry. And it's not only women, it's all walks of life in our industry. And I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody. If anyone has any questions or wants to post a comment, please just write your comments, post it to us, and we'll do our best to get back to you. So as we go, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. So who will be coming up first?
Okay, seeing that I'm the newbie in the group, I'll step up.
Thanks, guys. Leave me hanging.
Okay, so I'm Fiona, and I trained as a chef many, many moons ago, and I did job hopping. Well, I'll call it soul searching, because I eventually ended up in the flavor industry, and I worked for a company for 8 years. And then I decided to venture off on my own, and I'm now the director of FJ Flavor Factory. And yeah, great passion for food, and I'm now dabbling in wellness and things like that. I'm busy studying and doing my degree in wellness, and I'm incorporating my business into the wellness aspect. So basically, it'll be eat yourself healthy at the end of the day. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Sarah, I think you're on mute.
Okay, sorry guys, there was on mute. Fiona, thank you. We are looking forward to having you on board and working with you. Karen, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Karen Blanchet. Sure, I've been a chef for about 15 years, and for the past 3 years, I've been a lecturer at the Gavot Academy. I've specialized in pastry for most of my career. I've worked for places like Lindt Chocolate and the Sara Wine Estate, and I've also spent quite a bit of time in the bush in the Sabi Sands. So a big love for nature, all things natural, and yes, I'm the chairperson for the chair lady for the SA Chefs Women in Culinary. And then every now and then I've got a little sort of a groot ontbyt. If anybody's ever seen me there. But I'm very proud to be a part of this group of ladies making our stamp in this industry. Pretty much me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Mona Lisa, if you want to give us a shout out there.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Hi to everybody. My name is Mona Lisa Mkhize, a KZN born chef. I'm currently the executive chef at Absa Towers. I'm in corporate catering. I've worked in various hotels in Johannesburg, Durban, and I also have international experience from the USA, Colorado Springs. I'm a director at Food Poetry by Chef Mona Lisa, also a director at Chefs Alliance, and I'm here representing Women in Culinary, and yeah.
Okay, thank you, my darling. Always lovely to have you on board. Lebo, how about you?
Hi, my name is Lebo Dlamini, mother of 4. I am grateful to be surrounded by these great women in culinary, being part of the committee also, and having a company as a events management and catering, and also being fortunate enough to be one of the participant who had to go for a program that was offered by South African Chefs Association. Eternally grateful for that. So in a nutshell, we are here to make sure that we represent all the injustices, represent all the unfairness that takes place within the culinary industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lebs. And then last but definitely not least, we are missing just one committee member. I know she's battling to join, so we're going to see if she can join. We all know Chef Pinky, the heart and soul of Women in Culinary, and one of the reasons that we are all sitting here today. Pinky, welcome. We're looking forward to having you on our webinar today.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, my name is Chef Pinky Maruping, and I am the Regional Customer Chef for Unilever Food Solutions South Africa, and I am the Director for SA Chefs. And well, it's been a very long journey, about 2 years, you know, playing with in my mind that we need to have a group of women together so that they can represent, you know, the women in the industry. And so finally we did it. And I'm very grateful to these women that are working so hard to make sure that this is happening. It's the beginning, so there's still more to come.
Thank you. And we definitely are looking forward to the road ahead and working with everybody that is involved. Okay, so in a nutshell, what you've seen is that we're going to be focusing on wellness. And generally, when we talk about wellness, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously your physical wellness and your mental wellness. But in actual fact, wellness, if you look at it holistically, has a lot of different elements, and we're going to be looking at the 8 elements over a couple of weeks. Today we're briefly going to do an introduction to all of the elements. Each one of us has got an area of expertise, and we will be delving into them moving forward. If you look, what is wellness? Wellness is practicing health habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health, to have a better outcome. So it's basically, don't just survive, we need to thrive. I'm going to ask Fiona just to give us a little bit more insight around wellness, considering this is an area that she has been studying and she's also very, very passionate about. Fiona, please just give us a little bit more insight to what is wellness and what are the different elements that we need to take into account. Fiona, your mic.
There we go. Sorry. Okay, so wellness starts off with you. There's nobody else that can take care of you but you. So, you know, if you don't care about how you look or what you put into your body, then, you know, you need to make sure that you are able to actually like take care of yourself. So wellness is not just about your physical wellness. It is about your environment. It is about your who you associate yourself with, what your working conditions are like. I'm trying to think of all of them, but no, we'll systematically talk through them. But yeah, it's not just one aspect of your life. And people are sadly mistaken that, you know, if you gym and you eat well and you feel okay, then at the end of the day, people think, oh no, my life is great. But you've got your occupation might be extremely stressful, and yeah, at the end of the day, that is something that can bring down your total wellness. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so to give people an idea, we've got the 8 elements of wellness, and those 8 elements are physical, emotional, mental, financial, environmental, occupational, and your intellectual wellness. So there's a whole lot of different elements that come together to form wellness holistically. Pinky, maybe you'd also like to give some thoughts around mental wellness. I know this is something that you are quite passionate about. You've done a lot of, you are currently actually doing a lot of work with Unilever and the Fair Kitchens movement. Maybe you can just share a little bit more about that with us.
No, definitely. You know, as we're going through tough times, so as Unilever Food Solutions, we have embarked on a campaign called #FairKitchens, and we have partnered with SADC, which is South African Depression Association. And, you know, it's very difficult for people to differentiate between emotional wellness and mental wellness. Because when you start saying mental wellness, they're thinking, oh, this person is cuckoo, they need therapy, they need a psychiatrist, and it's not about that. So what is emotional wellness? Emotional wellness will be the ability to talk to or with someone about your emotional concerns, about how you feel with other people. You need to be able to talk. And the emotional wellness includes your thoughts, your emotions, and you know, the ability to deal with life challenges. The ability to say no when you're feeling no without feeling guilty. Not feeling good is still fine. And sometimes you need to feel content with how you feel, but you need to be able to say, I know how to deal with it. You need to be able to relax when you're under stress. You need to feel that you have a support system, the people that are close to you, the people that you trust. You need to be able to open up. So in essence, you need to be able to cope. Then you will say you have a good emotional wellness.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, is that emotional wellness and mental wellness and spiritual wellness, while we might all want to categorize it into the same category, in essence, these are actually very, very different things. So let's take the emotional side and the mental side, and we just put that in a box for now, and we'll come back to that. Let's look at the second most obvious, which is physical wellness. Lebo, what is physical wellness?
Physical wellness, according to human beings, they've judged it to be based on appearance. And sad truth is that physical appearance kind of boosts your self-confidence, both professionally and in your personal life. However, we need to take into cognizance that we cannot make anybody make us inferior. While they have addressed the issues of mental and emotional wellness, that plays a huge role into the character and the self-love and the acceptance and the compassion that you have towards yourself. That will then expose your inner, how you feel inside will then be seen by everybody without actually having to go with what society recommends as physical wellness based on how sexy you look and whatnot. So maybe we need to drive into changing the mindset of the people to say it's not for one to be looking sexy for you to feel that you are now acceptable, or so we need to instill things like self-love towards self-acceptance, and make sure that, as Chef Pinky have said, you surround yourself with positive people, positive environment, positive energy that will even enhance that which is within you.
I hear you. So what you're also saying is that we can't go according to what society says. So you don't need to be a size 10 to be physically well. I mean, we've all got different body parts, we've got different body types, we look differently. What is healthy for you? And healthy does not necessarily mean that you're a size 10.
Exactly. Hence, what do you consume in terms of nutrition, in terms of taking care of yourself? Make sure that you've got enough rest, you sleep, you give yourself enough sleep so that both emotions, mentally, can also rest. Because if you don't do that, you are causing harm to your physical body through things like anxiety, stress, and those high blood situations. So to avoid that, to be in the full package of that physical wellness, nutrition plays a huge role. What you put inside your system plays a huge role. And with the industry that we are in, we know that good food is there, but there is good food. There is also good while we are dealing with food. That does not mean that we are dealing with junk. So therefore, we are in a position to maintain that physical wellness, still making sure that we eat good food.
Absolutely. So a direct impact of the food you eat affects your mental wellness. So we're starting to sort of get why all the factors and the elements of wellness work hand in hand. I see Lungi has managed to log on. Lungi, we did just quickly have a go at introducing ourselves. So if maybe you just want to introduce yourself and what you do and what your background is, that everybody can just get to know you as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Ngile Makiza. I am a lecturer at Capstone Culinary Institution. I teach rotisserie and hot kitchen all at once. I'm also a committee member of the Women in Culinary. I am a mother of 3 girls. I am a wife to a Xhosa guy. Yeah, that's about it.
Sorry, I see I was muted there. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's move into an intellectual side, because there needs to be intellectual wellness to be able to apply all the other wellness factors. So, Karen, what are different forms of intellectual wellness?
So different forms of intellectual wellness can be things like your memory, sharpening up on certain skills that you have. And specifically, I found, again, talking about wellness, in this time, what are we going to look at? Are we going to be positive or negative? Are we going to look at what are we doing with the time that we've been given during the time that we might be home, or let's say you have short time at work. And for me, looking at intellectual wellness and actually sharpening up on some skills has been a valuable thing for me to stay positive and to use time wisely in this time. So honing in on your skills, like I said before, I think all of us have, specifically from a chef point of view, we have recipe books sitting there, just collecting dust. I found this time, go now, read those books, hone in on your skill, debate with people in terms of whatever topics it might be. Play those word puzzle games, etc. Those are really, really good for your memories, for memory. But in general, intellectual wellness is also about being open-minded, reading up and doing research about new ideas, cultures, skills, environments. Pick a hobby. I know we can't travel at this point, but research places that you want to travel. So at the end of the day, pretty much just exercising your brain. And again, like I said before, in this time, how are we choosing to spend our time? We can't necessarily be at work or do the things that we would normally do. But and I know before, when we used to have the hustle and bustle, we used to wish for off time. We used to wish, I wish I could get to do those things. And I think now is the time to exactly do that. Read that book, train your brain, and then start intellectually stimulating your brain. I think the easiest kind of rut to fall into at this point during the struggle with COVID is the Netflix and chill kind of thing. And that's not what you want to do. I think by the time we all are back to work fully, you want to say, right, I've used the past 3, 4, 5 months, and I have read up and done so much research, maybe whether it be on chocolate or icing cakes or whatever it might be, but you've grown your mind in certain aspects over the past few months. You go to work kind of acquiring a skill intellectually, and now you can just go and practice it. So for me, intellectual wellness has been very, very important over the past few weeks, and that's how I've kind of decided to spend my time doing it. So yes, when we do have a little bit more time, we'll go more into depth with it and how you can do it, how you can hone in on your skills and practice with your brain, etc. But that's about it from me at this point.
All right. So exactly what you're saying is that intellectually we need to keep ourselves challenged, basically. We need to be informed. And if we start delving a little bit deeper into that, we start moving into spiritual wellness. So spiritual wellness is not necessarily religion-based. It is something that encompasses a high level of faith, hope, and commitment to your individual beliefs. So we need to start delving back into what are our belief systems, and are we living into somebody else's belief systems, or have we formed our own? Because what you find is that throughout our lives we've been conditioned that this is a certain way we should do things, and from a spiritual perspective we actually don't know what our own belief system is. And it's incredibly important because this creates your feeling to have meaning and purpose in your life. And if you don't have a purpose, you feel lost. And this is why the spiritual side and the intellectual side of wellness seem to be connected hand in hand, because one goes around intellect, and that intellect starts driving and delving a little bit further, and that's that whole thing that I'm talking about is meaning. It's what is your meaning and what is your purpose? And in that, we start affecting our social circles, because we start looking at who are the people that we associate with. Are these people in line to what I want to achieve in life? And maybe Mona Lisa can just give us a little bit more insight into what is actually social wellness.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So social wellness is your ability to connect with others and maintain strong relationships. And usually this is achieved by surrounding yourself with positive people and being comfortable with who you are in social environments. I think this one is very personal to me, because I used to be somebody that used to be shy, more of a loner, and I would rather be sitting in my little corner than engaging with other people. And I realized that was almost slowing me down a little bit, because there's a lot more that one could learn from other people, irrespective if you're in social spaces of career or just friends and etc. So social wellness is very important to put yourself out there, especially, for example, if you're an entrepreneur. You want to go and advertise your business. Sometimes being too shy limits you from putting your product out there. Another reason for why social wellness is important is that you are building and maintaining relationships with others that can help you maintain your mental and physical health, which now goes back to what was spoken about. You are meeting people that are thinking differently from you. You are going to be learning from these people. Sometimes it's not always good to have knowledge of your own and being narrow-minded, but you want to broaden the scope of where you place yourself, what kind of an environment are you putting yourself. So I think for me, that's what social wellness means and the importance. I think now, since we're in the time of COVID-19, it's what I would give people advice would be to join different webinars. There's always something interesting out there for people to join and listen. And there's so much that people could learn from, irrespective if it's your career. It could be other industries that are important, that you could almost be excited to even join. So it's not only about back then where we could meet and greet with people, but now online sessions like the one that we have right now, I could almost call it a social environment for people to learn and to grow, sharpen their skills, etc.
100% correct. And when we start looking at social, like you're saying, we're living in an environment now that we can't necessarily go and meet people, which also had a cost attached to it. So now we start, okay, well, we're saving money. How is that adding to my financial wellness? So Lungi, what is financial wellness?
So according to me and according to my understanding and what I think is general, financial wellness is being able to keep yourself financially. And by that, I mean afford yourself financially. And this does not classify a person according to the size of their bank account, but how well you actually understand your needs or your wants as a person, and understanding how to keep yourself with what you have. I mean, we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different educational backgrounds. We work different jobs that pay us different salaries. Or we have different forms of like streams of income coming into our bank account. So the richness or the poorness of a person does not necessarily mean you are well off financially or you're not well off financially. So what I'm trying to say is that if a person understands themselves financially, if the person understands what they have financially, to be able to keep themselves going on a day-to-day, on a month-to-month basis, you know, you are well on your wellness financially. Also, you need to understand that you need to spend according to your needs. You know, you need to understand what you spend your money on, what you actually need as your family or as a person. So yeah, that is what I think financial wellness is. You need to understand yourself financially. You need to seek the correct. I mean, lately the financial institutions offer courses and they offer advice on how to keep yourself financially. So you know, you need to then seek that help and understand yourself financially for you to become well financially.
Exactly. Now we're starting to get a bigger picture here. So what these things look like, you're probably looking and going, but this is all stuff that we practice anyway. But what we don't seem to do is tie the link into how each one affects each other, if that makes sense. And we've got one more sector that we need to look at, and that is occupational wellness. Fiona, what is occupational wellness?
Get this right this time. So occupational health wellness will be obviously your occupation, where you work, what you do, and how you keep yourself, where you get your money from, basically. So essentially, you need to ensure that, again, basically creating a good environment for yourself to work in. And in certain cases, it can be quite difficult because you do have a team member or a colleague that might not be like up to standard, but you need to overcome that challenge within yourself. So it is about keeping yourself up to date, making sure that you're a team player and things like that, and seeing where you can go the extra mile if that is the case, where you'd be recognized for that and things like that.
Okay. So we've now created what we call, let's call it our blueprint. And our blueprint is things that we should be looking at to create an overall wellness. And why are we focusing on wellness at this point in time? So we've been going through this COVID-19 pandemic. We see a lot of people going through various different levels of trauma, if you want to call it that, because this has been a traumatic period. And I think as women, we forget to take care of ourselves. Speaking as myself, who is, I'm a single mother, I also help look after my own mother, and I have realized that I've actually forgotten to take care of me. And whether it be from a physical point of view, emotional point of view, just rechecking what I like to call my tribe, like who is my tribe? Who are the people that I'm associating with? And finding ways and means that I can improve this. So Pinky, when it comes to your mental wellness, what are some things, and if we can just briefly touch on them, we can go into more detail as we go along, but what are the things that we can do that can help improve our mental wellness? Like, give us a first step that you do, like to do your check-in and go, okay, I need to check in on myself and this is first on my checklist.
I think the first thing, you need to be aware of your emotions and reactions. You need to notice what in your life makes you sad, what makes you angry, what makes you frustrated. try to address or change those things. Because if you do not deal in depth and, you know, go through your emotions, because most of the time what we do, we put it aside, we substitute, you know, dealing with your emotions with other things. It could be alcohol, it could be, you know, drugs, it could be like going to the gym, and you're thinking after you substituted dealing with your emotions, it will go away. It will never go away. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to be aware with your emotions and address them. And I think the second thing is expressing your feelings, and letting people close to you know what is it that is bothering you. You know, keeping feelings of sadness or anger inside you can cause problems in your relationships and at work, or, you know, in your personal life. So another thing, think before you act. Give yourself time to think and be calm before you say or do something you might regret. Most of us, we always just jump into, we are reactive. We never think first. We are always reactive. And then at a later stage, you regret that, I shouldn't have said that. Manage your stress well. You know, feeling stress is normal because there's no one in this world, even if you can have all the money in the world, but you might be missing something. You might be missing somebody who is going to spend that money with you. And that will definitely give you some sort of stress. So learn to relax. Strive for balance. Find a healthy balance between work and play. Don't just work. So find a balance of work, play, and home, you know, taking care of your family. Because you always find that people are working from morning until the evening. They don't know what their kids are doing. They don't know how their kids are feeling. You don't even ask your kids how they had their day. And you might find that your kid is now abused at school and without you knowing what is happening. So it's very important that you strive that balance and take care of your physical health. And I mean, like some of us, we don't like exercising, but, you know, just walk around your house or walk around your neighborhood, eat healthy meals and get enough sleep. Guys, if you do not get enough sleep, whatever you do won't work. Your body needs to shut down. So you need to have enough or ample sleep is very, very important.
Pinky, I love what you're saying there. You know, when it comes to enough sleep, eat right, etc., I think as chefs, we've often been put under the impression if you work yourself to the bone, then that's the only way you make a name. You know, if you know, you go home and you work in the kitchen, you work. Even as a lecturer, you either work longer hours or take work home, etc. But I think that's where the balance thing comes in. There's a place where you have to draw a line and where you have to tick off your to-do list, and if there's one or two items left over for the next day, then that's your priority number one for the next day. But if you're going to work, at some point burnout's going to happen, and I've seen that in so many chefs, lecturers, and just workers in general. And once burnout happens, then you're not going to be no good to nobody at all. I think one of the best sayings that I've heard before is also, you can't pour from an empty cup. So how will you be good to anybody else if you're not going to be good to yourself? For me also, lockdown is very much, you know, again, talking about intellectual wellness and mindfulness. I've kind of promised myself, never again will I fall into this rut of non-balance. You know, we've all had the chance to organize our house, organize your drawers and do all that. And I think now it's just a question of maintaining. Do the lists, do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, people are not going to know, well, neither people or employers will remember how many hours you put in, but you'll be remembered for the impact that you have had as a person, how that you make people feel. And you're not going to be your best self if you did not get enough sleep, if you did not put in the work and do what needs to be done. So yes, work hard. I think that is definitely still a very important aspect, but balance. Spend time with the people that you love. I think all of us also in this time, we realize how important loved ones are. So spend time on the correct things. Put away the phone. I've also noticed again, how much time your phone eats of your life, whether it's on a game or on WhatsApp, etc. I've got a mother who's very famous for not answering her WhatsApps. So, but I do also think there's a happy medium. Not every single time that your phone goes off to look at it. I remember the old days where you get an SMS and you only every now and then do you check your phone and then you reply on your messages. You're not here to be at anybody's beck and call. So have, let's say, established times that you look at your messages through your day or do your things, etc. But put the phone away. When it's family time, when it's just before bedtime as well. We, as a group at work, we went to go see a dietitian a while ago. And I think her advice to everybody was an hour before bed, put your phone away. Because it's also the screen that's not that's damaging to your eyes at time of night. And all of those little things comes into balance of wellness. So, and I also think all the aspects of wellness hold hands. And it's like a brick wall that you build. And if there's one brick missing, it's not going to be a solid wall. So it's intellectual, what you eat, how much you sleep, all of it plays a part. And if we don't do everything that we set out to do in terms of it, we're not going to be good to the world and good to our people.
You're 100% right, Corinne. And following up a little bit on the screen time, one thing that is really good and is really, really important for your spiritual wellness. And a lot of people look at it and go, oh, I don't need to do it. I can tell you that it is a ritual for me. Every night I take my time and I meditate. And meditate is devoting time to yourself. You don't need to think about anything in particular. It helps just to free your mind from the everyday clutter and whatever may be going on around you. And you start forging a much stronger relationship with your spiritual self. Get to know you, be comfortable in your skin, and have that moment to just be quiet. And when you start going through and you start calming your mind, it also allows you to start looking at things from a different perspective. So you're switching off the chaos and you're going, it's not so bad. Be quiet, be still, and just breathe. Take that 5 minutes to just be with you. Lungi, what more can you say from you are things that we can do to improve our financial wellness?
As I was listening to Carrie speak now, a lot of things came to mind, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and all these things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. And I found myself saying to myself, who is my 50? Lockdown regulations has now a thing where only 50 people can go to a gathering, like a funeral gathering. And I found myself saying to myself, who is my 50? Have I been in contact with my 50 during this time to find out how they're doing? Has anyone around me that I find dear to my heart come to me and ask me, how am I doing during this pandemic? We're all going through so much. And I found myself saying to my boss the other day, after all of this is said and done, we kind of need to sit down and do a debrief, just kind of go through each and every person that is here and near to you and ask them, so how are you? How are you doing? And the question, how are you, is so broad. It does not necessarily mean the out to you and the physical, how are you doing? It goes so much deeper. Financially, I think at this time, for myself personally, it has given me the time to quite kind of sit down and say to myself, so Lungi, where are you? So what is it that you need? So how much do you have? And kind of sit down and say, so, okay, so this is me. Where am I getting to the next step? So many people have lost their jobs. So many people have lost their means of living on a day-to-day basis. How am I going to help the next person? How am I going to financially myself support the next person? So it's kind of like a broad thing that if you are a person like myself that likes to help the next person, How do you do that in this pandemic? How do you help the next person? How do I upkeep myself financially to help the next person? So it's a long, broad thing, and I'm glad that we've started one today, because it's an ongoing process that we're gonna need to just expand on and speak to our sisters and brothers about, and and just try and help each other balance ourselves financially, emotionally, mentally. Yeah, it's a lot.
You've touched on a very, very important topic there, and I think that's going to fall in with our occupational wellness, is that you have said a lot of people have lost their jobs. We've been retrenched. There are people in turmoil because there aren't many jobs available. Fiona, what can we do to improve our occupational wellness during this time?
Well, number one, if you've got a job, take care of it at this stage. So it's very, very important to show the people that you are worth being there, and the fact that they need to realize that in the pandemic, with being jobs being so limited and people getting laid off each and every day, I think it's not only from the employee side to show that they're worth being there, but the employers actually taking the time to go, I can see this one and this one and this one's actually doing their part and trying their best to better the business, and actually appreciate your staff, at the end of the day. So it's very, very important for us all to stand together as employer and employee to better the environments that you live in. And it's about supporting each other and asking a simple question, like Lungile said, how are you? And making sure that the environment that you are in, occupational wise, that it's a good environment and you want to be there. And it's not a question of somebody working 14, 15, 18 hours a day, because you know what, you're at home, you can work from home. So now you're stuck in front of your computer screen and people just expect more and more of you. And it's a matter of going, I appreciate you and thank you for the work that you're doing. So it's all about building the relationships within your occupation to see where one another can support one another. So yeah.
Okay. Mona Lisa, so your occupational wellness and this financial wellness, we're starting to see that this has effect on our social wellness. Again, we're not allowed to go and visit our family and friends at this stage. What do you think we can do to improve this sector of our lives, which we're finding quite challenging at the moment?
Thank you so much, Sarah. One of the ways of improving social wellness, right now, like I said, is through webinars. I mean, you can have a pajama party on a Friday with your friends on a webinar. We've actually done that with my sisters in Christ, and it was amazing. So for a moment, we said we're not going to touch on religion, but we're going to catch up on each other. How are you? How is it with you? And I think that was a lovely platform, besides us having to meet up in person. And those, for me, that was amazing. And I think I wouldn't mind having such online pajama parties every now and again. I don't know if there's more than just webinars and online social gatherings, because now if you're having a gathering for 50 people, I think it might turn out to be something like a party, it's a bit risky. Unless unless it's an emergency, but I think for now, until we have direction, online social gatherings or should be are the way to go. Honestly,
so also,
the way to go.
I think an important thing that you're saying is that we as human beings, particularly from our South African culture, we are social beings. We
Yes.
like to interact. We like to be with each other. And I think from a social perspective is that we might not have the physical contact, but we need to still be in touch. See, like, do exactly what we're doing now, have a webinar. But how about I propose this to my ladies in my committee, and I say to you, why don't we once a week host an evening where we're just cooking, we with our families, and we get together on a platform, and I'm going to encourage the viewers and everybody out there, come and join us. Tell us how you are. Show us what you're doing. Ladies, what do you think? How can, that is some way that we can give back socially and saying, you know what, don't sit, don't be quiet, let's get together. So I'm going to put it forward to every one of us to make a conscious effort to set aside and come to us and say to us, even if somebody here is going, you know what, I want to be involved with this next week, Wednesday, drop us a mail, drop us a comment here, we'll set up the time and we can say we'll see you there, and we'll host our own virtual party. Ladies, what do you think?
We're all for it.
Okay, I'm getting mics off. I want mics on, and I want to hear it. Like,
oh yeah,
yes, let's do it.
So, I challenge everybody out there who's watching and who has taken the time to join us on this journey. We're really, really excited to bring the elements of wellness. As the weeks move forward, we will be delving into the different elements into a little bit more detail, get some experts on board, get different points of view. For myself, I've just done a kickstart into my own journey, and it was really about looking at things from a different perspective, because so often we're very consumed with what is happening around us that we cannot see that it really is just taking one simple step. So we've given you small ways that you can take that step, and you go, what, from a spiritual side, I'm not doing great, I'm not feeling great, go and meditate. From a social perspective, get your ladies, get your tribe on Zoom and go, guys, I need to see you, let's communicate. So I'm going to ask everybody just to give a thought in closing, and then we can end off the session. Mona Lisa, what are your thoughts? What is a message you just want to send out there as we close for our session today?
Sarah, you know, as we were about to close, I just want to share with all the women in culinary that they are not alone. We are here for them. We have a national group where you're allowed to state your problem. If not, DM us privately and we can help you. There's different platforms that are there waiting for us women to speak out. Help a sister, help your sister's sister, help your neighbors. And then for now, the time that we're living in, let's also try to silence the noise a little bit. If you need some time alone, if for example, I need Karen to take over today's platform, I know that she's there for me as a sister while I'm having some time on my own. So yeah, that is all from my side.
Thanks, Mona Lisa, and I think that is important. We do have a group. If you go onto the SA Chefs Facebook page, or you can go and join the Women in Culinary Facebook group. Our details are on there. If you need help, if you want to chat, if you just want to get in touch, please, we are here, and I'm glad that you've actually had this platform to get to know us a little bit better. Lungi, anything from you?
Yes. In Zulu, there is, I don't know if I should say a saying that says "Okungapheli kuyahlola." Loosely translated, it means, you know, what does not end is, I can't explain it, but everything will come to an end eventually. And what we're going through now will end, and when it ends, we are going to be stronger. Right now, we need to support each other. We need to be together. And this brings me to our hashtag Stronger Together. When this ends, all of us are going to be there, and we're going to conquer all of it, and we're going to come out and remind each other that we went through it, and we went through it, and we're still together, and we're going stronger. So keep that in mind. Keep going forward, you know, and also know that there's always a shoulder to cry on. There's always that one person that will listen to you, and that one person that will always go through you. Don't doubt anyone at this point in time. As a woman in culinary, we are there. You know, even if you don't know me personally, even if you have never seen my face from afar, so just know that if you get my numbers on the national group and you see that I'm a member of the Women in Culinary and you shout for help, know that us as a team of the Women in Culinary will be there for you. You know, and we're going to push forward. And at the end of it all, we're going to look back and say,
I love that. I love we are stronger together. And it rings so true in what you said. And we sometimes, again, we get consumed with everything that's happening. And the most important thing is that this will end. This is temporary. It cannot go on forever. And if you need help just to get through this temporary phase, there are channels to help you. Fiona, anything from your side?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people go through, and you're sitting at home, you feel alone, you're eating too much, or you're not eating enough, you're not taking care of yourself in this pandemic. And what people need to realize is that it's okay, and let go of the guilt. As soon as you let go of the guilt, you'll probably feel better about things, and you will stop eating, and you will stop feeling bad about things, and so on and so forth. So just take a step back and say, I'm going to be okay, and take a deep breath, and know that there are always people out there who care. And yeah, by all means, you know, shout out and scream that you need help, and you will find the help that you need. And yeah, like Mona Lisa said, hey, we're here, let's do it.
Awesome. Again, a very important thing coming out is breathe. I know I'm quite guilty of it. I get myself in a panic and I forget to breathe. And if you can't breathe, you can't focus and gain control again of yourself and what's happening around you. Karen, from you?
Final thoughts also from my side, I think along the same lines as all the ladies are saying. I often say to my students that, you know, we all need someone to look up to. And what are the kind of people that we look up to? Usually someone that's wise, and nobody that's wise has had a perfect life. That wisdom needs to build up from somewhere, some form of a hard time. I've had a lot of conversations over the past few weeks with people that I've known have also been through struggles and have come up on top. And that's helped me tremendously to kind of realize that, okay, there has been people that have been through this, and at the end of the day, like we all are saying, this too shall pass. And we are in the eye of the storm, and we need to get through it. So be there for each other, whether it is in the smallest way, whether it is taking a packet of maize next door and helping out, or just be having a WhatsApp call, or you know, attending a webinar. Be there for each other, because you being there for someone else will definitely mean more than you can ever realize. And also, if you are not strong, like Fiona said, they go with the guilt. Have that time, go through the emotions, and by the time you're done, when you're on the other side of the bridge, you will be okay. And also, to anybody that wants to reach out to any of us, you're more than welcome to. I think obviously our names are exactly the same on our Facebook, so if you would like to reach out to us in private, you guys are more than welcome to, and we are always here to listen.
Absolutely. Like you said, give yourself permission. You are allowed to not be okay, but don't sit and not be okay on your own. You are not alone. But stop with the guilt. Chef Pinky, we always look to you for our words of wisdom and leadership. So what have you got to leave us with today?
Like my boss always says, it's okay not to be okay. So don't beat yourself too much and try to be okay at all times. It's impossible. So you are human. So it's okay not to be okay. But then we need to remember that everyone needs support, and there is support there. There is #FairKitchens, and there is SEDEC. The lines are open 24/7. So at 2 o'clock, if you're feeling that you're having a panic attack or you want to talk to somebody, and it's anonymous, and it will stay there. These are professionals. These are experts. We are just a connecting tool to helping our members and the experts, so that we're saying, Do not shy away when you are not feeling good emotionally, mentally. Speak to somebody, and they are there. They are not going to judge you, and they won't say to the world, oh, Mona Lisa called, and let me tell you, she's got financial problems. She doesn't know how to deal with. No, it's between you and the experts, and they will advise you on how to deal with it and how to go about it. And if face-to-face needs to happen, then it will happen. So I'm gonna say the number that you can dial. It's a toll-free number. It's a hashtag Fair Kitchens and SADC number. It is 0800-006-333. I'm gonna repeat it again, 0800 000 6333.
Pinky, thank you so much for that. If you go and have a look in the chat, anybody that is on live, I have posted the number there for everybody. Use it. It is there for you. I'm going to leave you with a thought around wellness. So health is a state of body and wellness is a state of being. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. I am looking forward to the weeks to come. Keep an eye out.
One more thing. Don't forget your water. Water.
Hydrate.
So, if anybody's wondering, water is like your natural antidepressant. It just gets everything flowing again. It helps you think clearly. So as you get to know Fiona over the weeks, you'll get to know that it's always about the water. So keep an eye out on the Women in Culinary Facebook group, as well as the SA Chefs Facebook page. We're going to be starting a Nominate Your Sister. For the month of Women's Month, we would love to hear about remarkable women. It can be anybody in your community who is doing good work, who has overcome trying times. We would like to highlight these people and use them as an example that people can see it's okay and you will get through this, and this is temporary and you have the strength within you, and once again you are not alone. Here from the SA Chefs Women in Culinary Committee, thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.